Okay, thank you. So my name is Patrick O'Sullivan. I work as a legal researcher in it's called the ETIC cluster. It's in the Business Information Systems Department in UCC. And the aim of the cluster really is to examine how technology there's the ethical challenges around how to use technology. So when it came to the COVID-19 pandemic, myself and a colleague, Carolanne, we kind of examined how you could kind of potentially control communications and what type of framework you could adopt, or a government could adopt, to control frameworks or to control communications, such as online forums and websites, and of course other video exchange websites as well. And what we decided to do was we went back to the Bellbound principles, and they basically set out the three main criteria for how medical research should be undertaken. So you can see there to the right, it's mainly, to the right box, it's mainly to do with protecting the individual person that you may use in a clinical trial. So you have the individual, and then you have the fairness to that person from a clinical trial perspective. There's also benefits, because you want to get the right mix between protecting the individual, but also I suppose maximizing the benefit from clinical research that when you're using that individual. And the third one then is the justice element. So what type of burden do you put on an individual during a clinical trial, and what type of benefits then arrive from that trial? Are they going to be communal benefits, or will they just benefit a very select few number of people? So what we then did is we turned it around and we decided, well, we tailored the approach and see if we could apply it to a communications setting during a health crisis. So you have to go back to those first principles really legally first to do that, and you can examine the Irish Constitution or other constitutions, and you'll see that there usually is a freedom of expression. So you're allowed to state your opinion, but it's usually curtailed or restricted. So for example, you can't defame someone, or you can't promote unrest, or I suppose you can't as well promote you can't really undermine the state. So most constitutions will allow freedom of expression, but it's qualified and it's limited. And so from the Bellbound principles, applying them to the first, I suppose, criteria in a communication context is the fairness to person. And what you have there is a person has a right to express their opinion, even if it's wrong, but you also have to think of the wider communal benefit of clamping down on that individual's statement if it's going to cause harm. So you have to get the balance right between respecting the individual's autonomy, even if he's propagating disinformation or misinformation, but also you need to protect the wider community from that disinformation or misinformation. And the next criteria is kind of examines that. If you go to the first graph there in the poster, you'll see that the state in a health crisis becomes the key arbitrating body. The person has their rights further restricted in order to protect society. And the state then is above that, trying to protect society and the person themselves as well. And then in the second graph, you have kind of the scales, benefits, kind of, and how it, you have to risks have to be kind of minimized and the benefits maximized. And what that scale represents really is, in a time of a health crisis, your state control increases. You see that to the right, and individual freedom then goes down. Whereas in a non-health crisis context, individual freedom is quite high and state control is quite low. And then you have to kind of, again, it comes back to what does that mean in a communication context? For example, does it mean that certain individuals should be barred from communicating online because they're sharing disinformation? Or should it be that they should be penalized? Should they be sanctioned? Should they be even imprisoned? And that kind of comes down to the final scale, really, which is justice. What burden do you place on someone who wants to propagate a certain statement, but that statement may be a lie, but they believe it's true? What burden should be on them? Should they have to have a test of accuracy, or a test of what's their intent? Is their intent to, I suppose, knowingly propagate misinformation, or is it to actually, they genuinely believe what they say is true? And then that also comes back to the benefits. if you let this person express themselves, there is a benefit. They're allowed to exercise their autonomy and have value in society. But the negative, there's no benefit to the wider community if it's a lie. So what we basically have devised is how to apply this framework. Now, it's still early days yet, kind of in a practical manner, because of course what is happening now is with COVID-19, you have these rumors going around that certain groups are more likely to have it than others. So you have a kind of discrimination and racial element to it. You also have the kind of politicalization of the crisis as well, whereby President Trump is going around telling people to, drink bleach and whatnot. So the idea is you have to kind of create a framework whereby you make the right balance between what an individual is allowed to express, but also the wider needs of society. And the key element really is to try and, I suppose, engage an individual and kind of try and get an individual to have more awareness of the information around them, which is kind of what this conference has been talking about as well. But also to ensure that one individual does not cause a health panic or does not actually aggravate the problems of a health crisis by, propagating false information. And so the next stage of this research will be to try and apply this in practice. Somehow, can the state utilize those three principles in a way that hits the right balance between protecting someone, protecting the wider society, and indeed protecting an individual themselves who might be propagating disinformation, who then becomes the target of communal violence. And the key aspect as well is the last graphic, because what could very well happen is an individual starts stoking fake news, and that becomes communal fake news. His wider group in time begin to believe that. That communal fake news starts spreading out, and you end up then with state fake news.